Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Football Friday, massive, massive slate. We got to talk Oregon, Indiana. We got to talk these NFL matchups. Being joined as always by Dan. Dan, we got one half of the Joe Ranieri, Andy Lang parlay home with Miami winning last night. If IU can bring it up tonight. Man, it's going to be wild. But speaking of wild, we got a great show. Huge show. Wild card weekend. You could argue it's the best weekend of football. Like, it's first round of playoffs.
Yeah.
To get as many games as possible, you know.
I mean, Andy, it started yesterday. The fact we get back-to-back college football semifinals with teams that no one really thought was going to be there if you asked at the beginning of the year. So, yes, David, the Hurricanes may have shocked the world from preseason expectations, but they were 3.5-point favorites. And they end up covering that game for what it's worth right there at the end. But, yeah, it started yesterday, continues today. Then we got action on Saturday, action on Sunday, and a Monday night football game as well here for Super Wild Card Weekend. He's Andy Lang. I'm Dan Alexander. And coming up on the show, Yanni, I'm sorry to report, folks, he is still in Philadelphia for a wedding. So we will have Yanni back on Monday. But do not fret, because Teddy Covers is going to be up first. He's breaking down that Peach Bowl. We'll wonder what if Andy will like his breakdown or not, as Andy is sporting his IU Go Hoosiers sweater. Texans Steelers, we're going to talk that Monday night football game with Teddy, and then Marco is going to come on 2 NFL breakdowns. He's going to give you that game on Prime. That's Packers, Bears, Bills, Jags. You know he's got the sauce of the week. And then Andy, if there's any game that you guys want to hear about for the NFL playoffs that you don't hear about to end the show, Andy and I are going to go through all 6 games against the spread, our thoughts here on the program. And you know we're doing Sell Me a little bit different with Teddy this week. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys think I cooked up here for you.
It's going to be good. We got WTF, LFG. We got a lot to get to. So let's start off with Teddy. Let's bring in Teddy Covers here. I didn't even know this was called the Peach Bowl. I didn't even. I just.
If they can brand it, Andy, they're gonna brand
like,
it. You know what I mean? They had to give those bowls some name. You know what I mean? They're not just gonna go away with all that money. You know what I mean? So yes, they had Peach Bowl tonight.
They had the vice president of Verbo bring out the coin to the coin toss last night.
Nikki Bella was there as the master of ceremonies.
Well, Teddy, how are you on this Friday? How are you, man?
I'm just missing the Weed Whacker Bowl. You know, of all the bowls from back in the day, the Weed Whacker Bowl where the CEO would come out and burn, trying to trim the weeds.
That's what gets you going.
That was the one, yeah.
Well, let's talk. It's a big one tonight. IU, Oregon. I've been telling people all week that I'm breaking down this game. Just remember where I went to college. Let's make sure you do the right thing on this breakdown here. Indiana is -3.5, over under 48.5. How do you break it down? Are my Hoosiers going to advance or what?
And it's worth noting, just now, this is the first 3 I've seen on this game at Circa here in Las Vegas. So there's clearly some wise guy support for the Oregon Ducks in this ballgame. And hanging around town here in Vegas this week, it felt like I talked to a lot of people that were trying to make a case for Oregon, that were looking for reasons to bet against Indiana. And I can get that conceptually. Obviously, when we talk about these rematches here in the postseason, hasn't necessarily gone particularly well for the team that won the first meeting. That being said, we talk about Indiana and Oregon, and Indiana in particular. Think about the teams that have had a bye week in the college football playoffs over the last 2 years. There have been 8 of them. One of those 8 has been able to withstand the 20-plus day layoff and win a college football playoff game. That one team is Indiana. They didn't just do it. They did it as impressively as any team did anything last week. You know, they absolutely annihilated Alabama. It was the single most impressive, I think, of any team throughout the entirety of the college football playoffs this season. When you hold Bama to 23 rushing yards, when you dominate the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football against an SEC powerhouse, you're doing something right. And this isn't new or different for the Hoosiers, you know, in the Kirk Cignetti era. Obviously, they've absolutely annihilated everyone for the last 2 seasons, 18-9 against the spread, accounting every play. And how are they doing it? Well, they're doing it with experience. Indiana's starting lineup averages 32 career starts per player. All the transfers that have come in, these are guys with a ton of collegiate experience. No one in Indiana's starting lineup has fewer than 19 career starts. And when you're going 25-2 straight up over the last 2 years, when you won 14 games this season, 11 of them by more than one score, clearly you're doing something right. Now, this is factored into the point spread, all right? When these two teams met earlier this year, Oregon was favored by a touchdown. So we've seen, a 10.5 point line move, but it's not really that much because the first meeting was in Eugene and this meeting is on a neutral. So you can say maybe it's a 6.5 point line move in favor of Indiana since that first meeting. I think it's warranted. I mean, when we look at what happened in that first game, all right, and again, you don't want to put too much emphasis on this, but think about what happened because Oregon was certainly focused and ready, and Indiana was certainly focused and ready. And Indiana threw a pick six in that ballgame. Teams that score non-offensive TDs are better than 60% ATS, not Oregon. 20-20 in the fourth quarter after that pick six. What did Indiana do? They got punched in the mouth and they punched back. That's exactly what they've done all year. And the Hoosiers defense held the Ducks 13 offensive points, 14 first downs. And that came after going 3 or 4 on fourth downs, 267 total yards. I'm not convinced the rematch is going to be that much better for Dante Moore and company. Dante Moore in the first meeting, 4 of 13 on passes of 7 yards or more downfield versus the best defenses he's faced. Dante Moore, who could be the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year if Fernando Mendoza isn't. He faced Indiana, Texas Tech, and Iowa. Oregon had a combined total of 4 offensive touchdowns in those 3 games against quality foes. So, Andy, I think you'll like this. It's not just an opinion for me. It's a client play. I got my money on the Hoosiers. I've advised my clients to do the same. Indiana minus the points. We saw a chalk cover last night. It was a sweat, but it got there. May well be a sweat tonight. Might not be. I would not be surprised if Indiana wins this game by margin.
Let's go. Let's go. Love it. Love it. It's hard to argue that one. Could I make the case? Is there a revenge factor here? Do you believe in that, Teddy? Regular season to playoffs, is that really a thing?
So, revenge is a thing when one team has a little bit more juice than the other team. One team's playing with revenge, the other team's playing a little scared. You seen Indiana played scared? For a game of this magnitude, would you expect Indiana to be a little bit intimidated? I don't expect it at all. We've seen what they can do. And we've seen what this defense can do. For all the offense, for all Mendoza, what's impressed me more is the defense. What they did in the first meeting, what they did to Ohio State in the championship game, in the Big Ten championship game, what they've done throughout the course of the campaign. They're blowing up the line of scrimmage. And if you're blowing up the line of scrimmage, you tend to win football games.
I've said that all year, that Mendoza and Cignetti get all the hype, and deservedly so, but it's the defense that is just, it's so underrated, and it's the unsung hero of this one. So no, you're right. Indiana's not afraid. Mendoza is not scared of monsters under the bed. He is the monster under the bed, Teddy.
He is the one who knocked. Yes.
Yeah. Let's go to this Texans-Steelers game. My biggest question is, can Aaron Rodgers survive this Texans defense? Houston 3-point favorite, over under 38.5. If that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does. Interested in your breakdown. Can Aaron Rodgers pull off a miracle here in this one, Teddy?
Well, that's the question. Is this Aaron Rodgers' last game as an NFL quarterback? If Pittsburgh loses on Monday night, I don't know that many expect Aaron Rodgers to come back again next year. And it's certainly a Pittsburgh team. The Steelers won Week 18 versus Baltimore. No, they didn't. The Ravens lost that game. Pittsburgh gave up the game-winning field goal. The guy just missed it. All right. And the Steelers offense, they played as well as they could play. The defense allowed not 1, not 2, but 3 scoring drives in the fourth quarter to a limited offense with the game on the line. And obviously Baltimore missed a field goal, and it wasn't a chip shot, but it wasn't a 58-yarder. It was a 44-yarder. Pittsburgh's defense did not make plays when it matters most. Now, the Steelers will get DK Metcalf back after his 2-game suspension, but at the same time, they still don't have Darnell Washington. And when you talk about guys who don't move the point spread but affect the play in the field. Darnell Washington has been a difference maker for Aaron Rodgers. Multiple games this season. This is the type of game they'll miss him. And what wins championships? We know what wins championships. Defense wins championship. There's 3 defenses this postseason that stand out above the rest. The Broncos, the Seabags, and the Texans. And when we talk about this Texans defense, they've been downright nasty all year long. And we're talking about a 40-year-old QB in the cold. It's going to be right around freezing. And when this game kicks off on Monday night, who's now facing the likes of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, who are arguably the best pass rushing duo in the league. 27 sacks between them. And, one thing from a prop standpoint I'm looking at here, Aaron Rodgers pass attempts over. A, I think Pittsburgh going to be playing from behind. B, everything Rodgers throws is going to have to be out of his hands fast because the pass rush is going to be there. So I'm looking for Pittsburgh to do a lot of dinking and dunking in this ball game. That being said, we've seen Houston have success in the – who's got the better postseason track record? It's not close. In 23, Texans won in the first round. 24, Texans won in the wild card round. Pittsburgh, not so much. They haven't won a whole lot of playoff games in the recent Tomlin era. Aaron Rodgers, what's he got? 1 playoff win this decade? Houston's chalk here for a reason. If I'm playing, I'm laying. Texans or pass for this better.
Does the Pittsburgh Steelers, this insane home record on Monday Night Football, does that play anything? Did you take
23
that
straight?
account? 23 straight. Is it something? Is it nothing? Do you take anything for that, Teddy?
I paid no attention to it. Now, whether it's a factor, maybe it is. But how many of those Monday Night Football games do they play against one of the best defenses in the NFL in the postseason? Yada, yada. So, the line is telling you everything you need to know here. All right. When Houston is installed as 3-point road chalk, 3.5-point road chalk, the betting markets know already.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, Andy, you know that I love bringing up those trends just because they're fun to talk about. You know what I mean?
Fun.
They're Barney at the bar kind of stats. The other one, if you want me to give you some hope for Steelers fans, you obviously point to that Monday Night Football game record. You can also point to the fact that Houston, while they've had playoff success, the road playoff success hasn't been there. They've actually never won a road playoff game in franchise history. So I'm just trying to give you some hope, Steelers fans. They also didn't have the number 1 defense in those. And then the last one for hope for you, Steelers fan. How about Mike Tomlin? We all know Mike Tomlin is a home dog, 29 and 5 against the spread. So just trying to give some hope to these Steelers faithful, Teddy. We got to give them some kind of crumb. Or Marco would kill me if I didn't.
It's not a hopeless. Again, it's a 3-point. It's not like Carolina, Where if you're going to, do you want to answer that Survivor question that they put in the chat?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Do that.
I'm glad I mentioned to you before the show started because before the show even started, we had a question for Yanni. Obviously, no Yanni today. Sorry, folks, but we have the great Teddy Covers and Marco D'Angelo coming up next. This man is in a Survivor pool. It resets come playoff time. He's 5 left out of 641 entries. So way to go, Anthony, staying alive. He's asking Teddy, any advice on how you attack a Survivor pool where all of the teams are now available again, but he has to survive in advance here in the playoffs?
So my thought process for a playoff Survivor is you take the biggest favorite. You're not saving teams. You're not worried about what's going to happen next time around. Certainly for the wild card weekend, and for me, the Rams would be a pretty clear choice who do you want to take? You want to take the double-digit chalk. And if they lose, you lose with the best team, the team in the best scenario. Yeah. But it's not like the regular season where you have to, I got to keep this team in my pocket. I got to keep that team in my pocket. For a playoff Survivor pool, you play the chalk and let the chips fall where they may. At least that's how I would take it.
I would throw the Texans in there. I'm not sure the Texans are a Super Bowl team.
Chalk. Yeah.
Road chalk is kind of hard, but I mean, what happens if you use like the Rams and the Bills the first 2 rounds and they make it to the Super Bowl? Are you just screwed? Or
Yes.
you just like,
oh yeah.
Well, and you know how I say, oh, well, road chalk. Well, guess what? Four of these 6 games feature teams who at some book or the other is favored on the road. You know what I mean? So you can't fear, road chalk here to start off a very unique wild card situation where you have a lot of teams who are lower seeded who are favorites going into some of these situations. So yeah, it's hard to not take the team, even though they're going to be one that theoretically in the Rams will continue on. It's hard not to go with the team who's laying over 10 in the hook. So interesting question there. Nevertheless, comment below if you're playing Survivor or if you're just trying to pick a winner. Who are you picking here out of these 6 games that figure to be pretty interesting?
Teddy, I want to get to NBA here. You said something interesting. You upgraded the Hawks?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the Hawks have been better all year without Trae Young. All right, it hasn't been close, and I've been making money betting on Atlanta without Young in the lineup. Now they pick up 2 productive veterans. All right, CJ McCollum, Corey Kispert. They make that team better from day one. So you take out the guy who has been the source of locker room malaise, and you bring in 2 savvy veterans, and everyone talks about McCollum, what a good guy he is, how much they like him on their team, what a great veteran he is. So I bumped Atlanta in my power rating. Washington is a team that had been playing good basketball in recent weeks. They've been making me money. And now they just traded away 2 guys, 2 of the productive veterans, which concerns me. I did not adjust my Wizards power rating initially. I want to see this team play a game or 2 before we move them up or down. But for Atlanta, they got better. And from a moving forward standpoint, when you're dumping that much salary, they gained a whole lot of flexibility for future moves. I'm not convinced this is the last move that the Hawks are going to make, although the whole concept of, I want Anthony Davis on my team, to me is just baffling. Because the last thing I want to do is pay a max level salary for a guy who's not going to be on the floor. And basically any of the stars who are over 26 years old, you're paying max level salary, or on the wrong side of 30, like Davis, he's going to be sitting for probably extended stretches. So it's a trade that doesn't make sense to me for Atlanta. If I was them, I'd look elsewhere.
Yeah, I've had bets on Max Christie on Dallas, so I've been watching Dallas Mavericks. Anthony Davis, man, he doesn't have it anymore. He's not the player he was. Like, there's a lot of driving into the lane and throwing the ball off the rim, like really awkward situations. It's kind of tough to watch.
And he's due for a contract extension too, and the next extension for him pays him until he's 37.
No way. No way. Couldn't do it. Love him. Incredible career, but it's on the way down here. So we're going to do Semi in an NBA edition. But first, Teddy, tell everyone what you have up for clients. Huge weekend starting today.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, we're in play tonight for Indiana, Oregon. You don't need to buy that play. You got it here for free. That being said, locked and loaded with a pair of games in NFL action this weekend, including a rare 5% big ticket. We won back-to-back 5% in the NFL over the last 2 weeks. We're on I think it's what's my NFL run? 12-5 over the last 5 weeks, 16-7 the last 9 Sundays. So better than 70% in the NFL in recent weeks. Check out the 5%. Check out the full packages on my homepage, www.buzz.com/TC. We're involved in NBA tonight as well. And obviously tomorrow on Saturday, I expect a fair bit of college hoops to grace the card. So running good across sports, better than 60% over the last month. Counting every play every day, more than 40 units of profit. Again, check out the homepage, www.buzz.com/TC.
All right, Dan, let's do it. By the way, we did not have a winner. Like last week on Semi, nobody did it. Nobody did it correct. Nobody put their name. Nobody put Teddy and their username. Like, guys.
So let's break it. Let's break it down. There were plenty of people who picked Teddy, but they did not include your WagerTalk username. So how this works, sell me. We're going to break down 2 sides here. These guys are both going to get one of them. Whoever you think made the best case and their team will cover, You comment with their name and your WagerTalk username. Boom, you're entered in for a 3 free-day flex pass. And that's as simple as it is. That's all you got to do. And gentlemen, let's do a little NBA edition here. The NFL is winding down, folks. So we've had fun doing these NFL teams, but let's talk a little Pelicans and Wizards. And Teddy, when I heard you breaking down that Trae Young trade, I already knew which side I was going to give you, because Teddy said, I'd like to see the Wizards play a little bit more before I am wagering on or against them. Well, Teddy, you're going to have to tell me why the Washington Wizards are going to cover as 3-point dogs. That's what we're grading it at, because we have 2.5s out there, 3.5s. There is a 3, so we're calling this one 3. Wizards are 3-point home underdogs. New Orleans, 3-point chalk on the road. Teddy, you haven't gotten to see much after the trade. You haven't gotten to see anything after the trade, but you're telling me why the Wizards are covering. Sell me on that. I wrote NFL side, but it's an NBA side.
Oh, Washington's a very easy side to make a case for in this game for 2 reasons. Number one, this has been a moribund franchise, bottom feeders for what it feels like decades. And they just made a kind of a win now move. Hey, let's bring in Trae Young. So from a team chemistry standpoint, yeah, they lose McCollum and Kispert, who we liked. But from a, hey, we're actually doing something positive for the franchise standpoint, it's a boost. And we've seen what happens when a team with a nice group of young players, and Washington's got 5 studs under the age of 22. You bring in a veteran point guard. That's kind of what Houston did last year with Fred VanVleet. And all of a sudden the Rockets were contenders. So there's a positive vibe in Washington now for the first time since before COVID, and probably longer than that. So, and the other case for the Wizards is so easy. Hello, New Orleans can't be road chalk, McFly. I mean, they haven't won since before Christmas. All right. This is a bad basketball team. And when you're talking about laying points on the road with a bottom feeder, no, there's got to be a better bet than that. Wizards plus, count me in. McFly,
indeed. I love the reference there. Well done out of Teddy. That's going to be hard to beat when he's making a Back to the Future reference. How the hell are you going to sell anyone on this one? But you're telling us road chalk, New Orleans. Why are we laying 3, Andy? That's your task.
Well, because the books are telling us a story. This would be this line makes no sense. Why is a team who's lost 9 in a row laying the points? And it's because the Wizards are now forced to hand the keys over to Bub Carrington as their starting point guard, which is terrifying. They also have old man Chris Middleton starting at power forward. He's going to guard Zion. No chance. This is not the first 9-game losing streak the Pelicans have been on, Dan. But you know what they did in that 10th game? They won. The books. So that is my case. This Pelicans team doesn't lose double digits in a row. The buck stops here. The losing stops here. And the books are flat out telling you who's going to win this game. There's no world that the Pelicans should be road favorites unless the books already know what's going to happen. It's been written in the stars. Pelicans win and cover.
Wow, written in the stars, but no Back to the Future reference. I will say, Andy, which
I can't beat that.
They've lost 9 in a row, but they won't lose 10 in a row. Ringing endorsement. Who do you think is going to be covering? We're grading it at 3. New Orleans Pelicans or the Washington Wizards going tonight. Comment below when the video goes live. Teddy and your WagerTalk username if you think the Wizards are going to be covering at home. If you believe the written in the stars angle from Andy Lang, comment Andy and your WagerTalk username, whichever team covers, you are going to be winning a free 3-day flex pass. Always a fun one, guys. And we have to turn the page, right? We got NBA continuing. Maybe we'll sprinkle in a little college basketball here and there. But folks, the NFL is nearing an end, sadly, but selling you on sides. And I'll correctly write NBA side, not NFL side for next week, guys. I'm sure that really confused many people.
Thank you,
Thanks, Teddy.
Cheers. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one. Teddy covers. Here's the funny thing, Andy. Before we went on, you were like, hey, make sure you shoot Marco a message because he's going to come on early because we don't have Yanni. Teddy was like, I ain't doing 30 minutes. He only did 27.
He did say that.
So he did cash the under. We tried to get him there. We couldn't quite get him there.
I also forgot the Pelicans. God, they're bad. That's a hard case to make for the Pelicans. Like they just lost by 17 to Atlanta, and Atlanta owns their pick.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, you know that Lino gets the bit. I popped it up there. Lino says, "Yuck. Good job, Dan." He knows it has to be disgusting. You know what I mean? I had to do it to you, Andy. But before we bring in Marco's got 2 NFL plays coming for you. He's got Wing Sauce of the Week. Andy and I are going to be breaking down a cavalcade of these NFL games. But before that, Andy, I do want to let people know 3-0 for you last night. You mentioned how it's kind of been this up and down, these peaks and valleys. I think this is going to turn the corner for you, man. When you have a 3-0 night, gets your head right, gets you feeling right. And currently people can use Andy 100 and get $100 off action this weekend. A 3-day pass, take $100 off, right? Or a 30-day pass, excuse me, Andy. And why should they check out that 30-day pass? Because that's really where the biggest value lies as far as prop betting is concerned.
Yeah, we told you, if you got the 30-day pass on Wednesday, we had a miserable Wednesday night. And we said, hey, 30-day pass, give us 29 more days. Well, we didn't need 29 more days to make it up. We did it yesterday. 4% NBA winner, 2% NBA winner, 4% overnight cricket winner. Those are fantastic. Game starts at 3 a.m. You wake up, you cash those. We have a 5% NFL best bet that's up. We got more NBA that's up. So 30 days is the best way to take advantage. We have a 5% UFC best bet that goes off in a couple weeks. So all of those are included. And Dan, we hit our same game parlay on the prop line.
Love it.
Show yesterday. So that show's going really, really good. And included with our NBA write-ups, those of you that have been getting the NBA plays, we include our props market watch. So we go over a bunch of different leans and angles and a lot of really good information there. So no reason to not get a 30-day pass. We're running really, really good the last 24 hours and always good to go into the weekend with momentum. So promo code 8100 gets 30 days. We have a couple of questions here in the chat before we get to Marco. Bub, the point prop, are they going to adjust it? Bub Carrington's points is like 13.5. I would take the over. He played 39 minutes the other night. This is one of those under the radar props that the books are not over adjusting enough. Yes, I would play Bub Carrington over. It might actually be a client play on that one. Where do I find my WagerTalk username? That's the username that is in WagerTalk system. So
like when you log in, the name that would be in your login where it says username, you log in. A lot of times on my computer, Andy, I don't know any of my passwords because I do the auto save thing. So you just click the auto save, the population, and read the name there. That'll get you going, Michael Hibbs. So log into your WagerTalk. You'll see your username right there at the top of the screen.
All right. We got a question for you. Can you call the Eagles and tell them we need 25 pass attempts and 30 carries from Barkley and Hurts? Dan, you got some inside info there?
Yeah, let me call up Kevin Patullo, and Kevin Patullo will answer the phone and just say, duh. I don't think you can tell Kevin Patullo anything, folks. So it's going to be what it is. Although with my WTF or LFG we'll give after Marco, kind of ties into maybe what financially free and focused needs. So we will see.
All right. Well, Dan, why don't you bring in Marco, and I am going to go do some research here because Jesse was correct. So I'm going to go find our winner. I'm going to go find our winner.
All right, Andy, go get to work. Let me talk to Marco. Let's see if he's going to lead off with that. I'm a sick F today. Yeah, I'm sorry I had to do it on the NBA floor there, Marco. Marco, how we doing on a Friday, brother? How's things been?
Oh, I'm just excited to get on early. Oh, wait a minute. No,
the exact same time you're on every day.
That's one thing, there's death, taxes, and not getting on early behind Teddy. Those are the things you can count on.
Hey, well, there's still plenty of people hanging on every word that you have here, Marco. So whether we get you at 12:30 or 12:15, people are pumped up when we have the co-founder of WagerTalk.com here joining us on the program. Marco, let's talk this Saturday game. This one is on Amazon Prime. There's been some talk of potential weather that could be affecting this game a little bit. Hasn't really banged the total much. Has ticked down a little. But this is one of those 4 games that you heard me reference that you have a road favorite. Sure, there's maybe some difference. There's some pick'ems out there, so you can shop around on this price. But Packers playing a team for the third time here. How are you attacking this one?
Yeah, third time in 6 weeks, no less. I mean, this
insane.
Is a crazy situation we have here. And we go back to that second meeting. Green Bay should have won the second meeting. The first game could have went to overtime. It was decided by 7 points. Caleb Williams threw an interception late in the game in the end zone when it looked like they were going to tie the game up. And then the question would be, would they go for 2 or wouldn't they? Well, we never got to find out because he threw the interception. In that second meeting, Green Bay dominated that game, even though Jordan Love got hurt early in the game. I think it was second quarter. He got hurt. Malik Willis came in and played exceptionally well. I think it was 9 of 11 passing, but he beat them with his feet, had a great game. They were dominating on the ground, and Chicago was dead for about 55 of the 60 minutes of that game. The final 5 minutes of that game was insane, especially the final 3 minutes when Chicago had to have just about every miracle that you could have, converting fourth downs, score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion, kick an onside kick, get the onside kick, and go down and score. It was just a crazy finish to that game, and then went to overtime. And the only mistake that Willis made in the entire game, they took the opening drive in overtime. They were driving and botched handoff, fumble. They turn it over. Chicago go down and wins the game. But I go back and look at that game, and we did a video this week about looking at things in the playoffs when teams are meeting for the second and third time. And you can catch that out on the YouTube channel. And what I was talking about, one of the games, this would apply here. Look at what was going on when they played that game. And Green Bay was in a horrible scheduling spot when they played that second meeting. They played that game on a short week, on a Saturday. They had their third road game in 4 weeks, and it was a gauntlet, the 4 games that they played over that stretch. If you go back leading into that game, they started that 4-week stretch in Detroit. Then they played Chicago at home for the first time. Then they went on the road and played at Denver. And then they came back and played on the road again at Chicago. That is a who's who, murderous row, 4-game stretch for them. I throw out the last game for Green Bay. It was completely meaningless for them. They rested all the starters. The only starter they kept in there was the field goal kicker that they ran out on the final play of the game when they called timeout with 2 seconds left so they could get the shutout off the board. Oh, what was the spread in that game? It was 16-0. Spread was 13.5. Interesting. Okay, that's the story for another day. But I look for Chicago. This is a great story they've had this year, but let's be honest. They've survived by getting turnovers. Now, turnovers are hard to handicap because is it a product of great defense or is it a product of some lucky bounces, fumbles bouncing the right way, some interceptions being tipped in the air and making the play? However you want to look at it, it has helped them. And this is a team that has had a ton of one-possession games. 11 of their 17 games have been decided by 7 points or less. I'm going to give the nod to Jordan Love, even though he's returning from injury, simply because he's been here and done that before. He's got the playoff experience. I've caught a lot of grief this year on Bet On It, stepping in front of the Bears a few times. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm taking Green Bay in this one. I think they get the job done. I'm calling it Green Bay 27-23. Should be another entertaining game between these two teams.
I love to hear it because as an Eagles fan, if the Eagles were to win as home 5.5-point favorites and the Packers pull off this upset, all the people who are bitching about the Eagles not playing their starters, it doesn't matter because the Eagles would essentially become the de facto 2 seed. So from from your mouth, Marco, to the football god's ears, Green Bay Packers outright lay the one, says Marco D'Angelo. We also have a breakdown coming, Marco, in this Bills and Jags game. And I'm super intrigued what you have, because basically the same line in that one, Pick'em's out there as well. But before we do that one, Marco, there's so many great special this weekend. That Weekend Warrior continues, and you've been seeing it great here. What do you have locked and loaded for this weekend? And folks can save a boatload of money over at WagerTalk this weekend.
Yeah, this is a great week to do it. The Weekend Warrior is a great deal. But guys, you're going to get 2 days for $49. We've got a deal this week where you can get 7 days for the price of 3. $20 more than the Weekend Warrior. $69 will get you a 7-day all access, all sports. Guys, we've got college football. We've got the NFL playoffs. We've got NBA. We've got college basketball. We got hockey. Every sport going. If you're an Andy fan, you're going to get cricket as well. You can get every play from your favorite handicapper for just $69. This is the time to jump on board. There's not a better week in the sports than this week with all of the action that's going on. And of course, with me this week, we've got another 5% play. We had a 5% play last week. We won again with Seattle, probably the most dominating game I've ever had to sweat a 10-point win with the Seattle Seahawks last week. Pillar to post job with them. They really should have won, probably by at least 3 touchdowns. But they got the job done. We're now 41-18 on 5% plays over the last 2 years, going back to February of 2024, almost 2 years, 41-18. We got one coming this weekend. So head on over to WagerTalk.com and check out that 7-day all access package.
Love it. That's Marco D'Angelo. WT.buzz/MD is how to get there quicker. Marco, this Bills and Jags game, I'm also very intrigued to get your take on, because the road is here for Josh Allen. There's no Burrow. There's no Mahomes. Josh Allen comes into this game traveling on the road, 0-4 straight up, 0-4 against the spread on the road, but he gets to play the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence. So how do you see this game? Because I went kind of toe-to-toe with Prez on this one. Thoughts for you, Bills, Jags. How are you looking to bet this one, Marco?
I'm going to start this one off by saying I think the winner of this game really does have a good shot of getting to the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
And I know that everybody's talking about there's never been an easier road for Buffalo to get to the Super Bowl because of what you just said. And that is true. But they got to do it, all 3 of them, on the road. That's going to be, a tough assignment, for them to do. I look at this one and I look at this line and I look at these 2 teams and what we've seen all year long. And I got to be honest with you. This line is based on 2 things: the name Buffalo Bills and quarterback Josh Allen, and public perception. Buffalo, I just don't think should be at a pick'em or -1 in this game. I understand if you look at their records, there's only a 1-game difference between the 2 teams. But if you've watched this Buffalo team all season long, they're just not as good as the teams we've seen in the past. Now, they still have the best quarterback in the league. If you ask me, the GM, you're going to start a franchise team, you get the first pick. Who's going to be your first pick? It's going to be Josh Allen. He can carry a team. There's no question about that. But if you've looked at this Buffalo defense all year, they have struggled. They went 5-1 down the stretch. Okay, so now everybody's jumping on the Buffalo bandwagon. But let's be honest about it. Okay, and it would have been 6-0, if they convert that 2-point conversion in that Philadelphia game, which they got a lot of flack for, not kicking the extra point in that one and going to overtime. But the teams they beat during that stretch, they beat a Pittsburgh team who at the time was struggling, couldn't score anything offensively. They beat Cincinnati and New England. They were down big in both of those games. If Joe Burrow doesn't have, 2 interceptions on back-to-back plays for pick sixes, they lose the Cincinnati game. They were down 21-0 to New England, and they come back. They barely beat Cleveland on the road, 23-20. And then, last game, they blow out the Jets. So what? The Jets have been pure trash all year. Jacksonville's won 8 games in a row. Granted, some were against some bad teams, but they did go on the road and beat the number 1 seed in the AFC, Denver, and they beat them soundly. The score doesn't even indicate how they dominated from start to finish in that game. And do you remember the game against the Chargers at home that started their 8-game winning streak? They beat them by 29. This is a serious team that plays good defense. And when you think of Jacksonville, immediately you think of Trevor Lawrence. You don't think about the defense, but the defense has been good. Only one team has scored more than 20 points on them over that 8-game stretch to close out the season. That was Arizona, and it was thanks to 4 Jacksonville turnovers. The Jacksonville rush defense is legit. 12 of 17 opponents this year, they've held to 89 or fewer yards rushing. And over the last 8 games, they've held 6 of their 8 opponents to under 200 yards passing. If you can't run the football and you got to become one-dimensional and you're not having great success in the passing game against them, it's going to be for a long game. Josh Allen does have the edge over Trevor Lawrence. No question about that, with experience and just that moxie that he has. But I've got a stat that I dug up. Since 2021 in the NFL, if you bet against NFL road teams when the line is between the threes, -3 to +3, who have allowed 14 points or less in back-to-back games, like Buffalo has done, the system tells you to go against that team, and it's league-wide, sample size of 28 games, 23-5 going against teams in that situation. That tells you to take Jacksonville in this one, and that's where I'm at, guys.
That's a hell of a poll right there, Andy.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I dug this up on social media. Jags 0-23 in games with totals over 49. Bills 0-8 road playoff game run. So
something's got to give.
You figure it out. Marco, I'd like to throw out Jags to win by margin. You can get 3-1 to win by 10.
Oh, wow. An all line.
I think this defense of Buffalo's trash. It's trash. It's really
and the
bad.
strength of Buffalo. This is what I'm glad to hear Marco's breakdown, because this is where I was kind of going at Prez. Prez was saying, hey, bet the Bills 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. And I agree, there's some value in that, but this is the game for the Buffalo Bills. Like, after this game, sure, the matchups get much easier. Jacksonville is a matchup nightmare for this team, because what do the Bills do best? Everyone talks about Josh Allen. They're a rush first with James Cook team, and they're playing a team who's top 5 in yards per attempt on against rushing teams, against running backs. So I think this is a nightmare matchup for the Bills, and getting one that the no-brainer is do the Kelly in Vegas special, right? You find the 1 or 1.5 and take Jacksonville up in a teaser and find something to pair it with. That's the way that I want it.
I'm going to pray for Kelly this week, because there are so many of those home dogs in the playoffs that you can get up over the touchdown. It's going to either be a great week for Kelly, or I'm not looking forward to doing bet on it next week. If I fall in sick, you'll know why.
Yeah, and the Bet on It NFL edition is up right now. Marco also has up on the channel. You heard his breakdown, on the teams playing each other for the 3rd time. If you want a little bit more in depth on how that is just year over year, league wide, there's a video up on the channel right now. Teams playing in the playoffs for the 2nd or 3rd time that Marco did a hell of a breakdown on. So you can get that. And Marco, tell folks also obviously what you have up, but the deli is open, even though there aren't many sandwiches to be had.
Well, you know what, guys? We expanded the deli this week. We added some new menu items. We got a couple college basketball games on this week's deli, so you can check that out. We're testing the new format. Head on over. You're going to get an NFL play, bringing you a playoff game, and 2 college basketball games on the deli this week. Deli 2-1 last week, 5-1 the last 2 weeks. So check it out. But I want to hear if you guys like what I'm doing on this week's deli. Let me know. Give me the thumbs up and tell me if you like the new format, adding the college basketball and the way we're going to do it. And we'll keep the deli open if you guys want it. So you got to go over, watch it, and comment or give us the thumbs up.
My favorite, Marco, is how you talk like it's actually a deli. You're like, "What? The deli's open."
Deli is open. The health department has tried to condemn it quite a few times, but they persevere. They persevere.
Oh, All right. Well, speaking of food, we only got a couple more weeks of this before the Super Bowl, and we're done with the wing sauce of the week segment. But you've been crushing it. This is one of my favorite segments we've added. Give us your wing sauce of the week, and who are we comparing it to?
Well, guys, what I'm going to do, since it's playoff time, I'm going to set you up for what I'm going to be doing, playoff time. I love my wings, and I've got my favorite sauces. You got some go-tos. But my absolute favorite wing sauce, I'm saving for Monday night because, Steelers are playing Monday Night Football. I got to have some wings. I got to root, the fan in me will be rooting for the Steelers. I don't know if I'm going to bet the Steelers or not. As you guys all know, I did have a ticket on Baltimore to win the division. We took that, during the season when we got a nice price on Baltimore. And so I had mixed emotions watching the game on Sunday night last week. But for me, my favorite go-to wing sauce is golden garlic. And what it is the combination of your traditional buffalo sauce, so you get a little bit of bite, and you combine it with a garlic sauce. So you get those two flavors just work together so well. But we're going to add a little extra ingredient to it this week. And if you watched last week's show, you know that we've established that I may or may not be a little superstitious. We talked about pork and sauerkraut for good luck on New Year's Day. So this week, Monday Night Football, I'm not taking any chances while I'm watching the Steeler game. When I order my wings in the garlic sauce, the golden garlic sauce, we're adding a special ingredient. And that special ingredient is I am going to have my plate of wings with holy water. I'm going to sprinkle holy water over the wings. It worked last week with that field goal. The priest came on before the game, blessed that end zone. That's the end zone where the field goal went wide right. Don't mess with it, okay? And funny story, I sent that when I saw that story before the game. I had no idea that it was going to play out the way it did, but I sent a buddy and said, look at this, because he's a devout Catholic and his wife is really, and he sent back a text to me and said, my wife said that's not allowed. The priests are not allowed to do that. And, I texted back, I said, it's okay. God is a Steeler fan. Little did I know how much of a Steeler fan he really was. So there you go, guys. Get the holy water out on my golden garlic wings and go Steelers.
Yeah, love the holy water. And the crazy thing is that the end zone that the field goal was missed in was the holy water end zone, which I don't know. They might need a deluge of holy water for this Texans defense, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
It's getting tough every week to find new angles with the wing sauce, guys. But
it's well done. It's well done. Wing sauce, and you don't need any wet naps. You'll have your terrible towel there, so you're good to go.
Oh, I cannot disgrace a terrible towel with wing sauce.
Yeah, you can disgrace a vial of holy water, but a terrible towel—that's where I draw.
The holy water.
I can't wait to see the comments now.
Yeah. Bring them down, folks. Appreciate it, Marco. Thanks, man. Good luck this weekend.
I love the notion that God was there to bless the Steelers. Meanwhile, this poor kicker's life is ruined. Harbaugh got fired. Like, all these bad things are happening.
Guys, God knows what the right side is. Have you ever seen anybody after the game thank God for losing a game? It's never happened.
They don't interview the losers, Marco. They don't interview the losers. The losers.
No, he hit Tyler. He hit Tyler Luke with some Old Testament. He went Old Testament on his ass. Is what he did. Floods, locusts, all that good stuff.
Thank you, Marco. Great stuff.
All right, guys, have a great weekend.
Thanks, Marco. Good luck, and definitely, folks, check out that deli video. It's going to be up here on the channel. Love it, man. Great stuff out of Marco. The holy water. Well done.
All right, we got a bet. We have an official bet here, Dan. Seth is going head to head. He has the Oregon Ducks plus 3.5. So, I mean, Yeah, this is a no-brainer. So Seth and I, you are locked in for an official bet. 3-day pass is on the line. Seth has the Ducks plus 3.5. I got my Hoosiers minus 3.5. Good stuff. Speaking of bets, Jesse was victorious, and we have a winner for the 3-day pass. Drum roll,
that
please.
we do.
The winner is that's
Chris
how you
Brady.
do it. That's how you do it,
folks. If you missed it, sometimes we'll do some head-to-head bets on this show. We do it with Sell Me. Your chance to win a free 3-day flex pass is live right now. You can comment below. Andy, if you think that the Pelicans are covering tonight, you can comment below. Teddy with your WagerTalk username. And this is after the video goes live. If you think the Wizards are going to cover, we're grading that one at 3 tonight. But Chris Brady, he thought Miami would cover in the first half alongside Jesse. He won. So guess what, Chris? Added to your account now at WagerTalk. Your free 3-day flex pass. You don't even have to go chase down customer service. It is in your account this very second. Love to see it, Andy. I love giving the free stuff away.
And guys, that's why we need your WagerTalk name. We need to know who.
Yes, because we add it immediately. Because believe it or not, Andy, when we first started this and we were just like, yeah, just comment below and we'll pick it. Customer service got slammed with messages. I'm the one who won. I'm the one who won. People like free shit, Andy. So the WagerTalk username, we're able to add it directly to your account. So congratulations to Chris Brady, and free 3-day flex passes up for grab right now with that Pelicans and Wizards game.
All right, we got a couple more things to go to. Now it's time. Going heavy on some free picks here. We got WTF, LFG. We've got all around the world, and then I'm entering Dan and I in a free contest. We have to pick the spreads on all the NFL games, and you got to get all of them right. You can't lose one of them. So let's do WTF LFG, Dan. Let's get back to our winning ways here. Last night's play didn't go so well, but you were due.
What are you gonna do?
What do we got for today?
I mean, Andy, last night's play might have not done well, but we're still 12-6 on these plays here, giving you free plays that you either follow or fade. So we'll take the 12-6. And hey, for what it's worth, Trinidad's rushing. He did have a 19-yard rush, Andy, but that was paired with going 4 for -11 before that point. So that didn't quite work out for us. The volume was there. The success for Trinidad Chambly wasn't quite there. But what we're doing, we're going back to some quarterback rushing options here, and we're going to take a look at this Eagles and 49ers game. I'm taking Jalen Hurts rush attempts, 8 or more. 8 or more rush attempts. We're currently looking at plus 110. You're getting a nice number here because this hasn't been the year where Jalen Hurts has scampered off and run as much. But in the playoffs, I expect a looser offensive approach where you let the dogs off the chain a little bit more. He's gone over this number. Out of his 9 playoff games, he's cashed in 6 times in his career here. So when playoffs come, he does rush with a little more regularity. I also think these linebacker injuries that have completely stacked up for the 49ers are going to have a weak middle in the inside of the field. He steps up in a pocket. That scramble will be there more often than it's not. Even if they're sending a spy, it's a guy like Kaiser White, who he doesn't typically play that role. So I think injuries stack up. I think so you're going to see some more RPO between him and Saquon, him tucking it a little bit more. And don't forget, folks, every time that tush gets pushed, that is a rush attempt. We're taking Jalen Hurts over or to have 8 or more rush attempts. Plus 110 is the number. Follow, fade, WTF or LFG. Comment and let us know. But I need to get the prop master's take on this one. Jalen Hurts rushing attempts over.
I think this is a pretty easy LFG. Agreed. Kneel downs count. This is a San Francisco defense that's completely banged up. And yeah, they haven't been using the tush push at all. Were they saving it? Are they going to unleash it here? I like this one a lot. Anytime I can get a Jalen Hurts rushing prop, I'm going to be in. So yeah, we're going LFG on that one, Dan, for sure. Absolutely. No brainer. So
let's ride, baby.
Yeah. All right, let's go all around the world. Let's do some free plays. Bears and Packers. I like this Cole Kmet over 1.5 receptions. This one's going to be a client play, Dan. I like this one way too much.
I like it.
He's gone over in 6. Yeah, he's gone over in 6 straight games. There is going to be wind. It looks like sustained about 15 miles an hour, gusts up to 30. I'm not really concerned about that, but I love that the wind could be a little bit of an issue because Cole Kmet's not the long, deep threat. He's going to be the one catching those short dump offs. So Cole Kmet, he's had 3 targets, I believe, in 5 straight. So Cole Kmet just to have 2 receptions is a play that I really like. And the unsung hero, Kyren Williams, 64.5 rushing. This prop has gone over 13 times out of 17 games. Like this guy he's always undervalued. And Dan, he's like this in fantasy football too. You notice every year, it's like we're burying Kyren Williams and then he just ends the year with 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns, like top 12 running back. He's the main guy, and this is the biggest point spread on the board. So if they get up, it's going to be Kyren. Blake Corum is healthy, but he did deal with a little bit of an ankle injury. So Kyren over 64.5 rush attempts. And then I'm going to do this, rushing yards. I want to do this rush attempts segment. I've done a couple videos on this, but if you haven't listened to this, take a look at the rush attempts. If you think there's a team that's going to win by margin, take their starting running back and look at the over rush attempts and look at these examples from last year's wild card weekend. Texans win by margin last wild card weekend. Joe Mixon, 25 attempts. Ravens win by margin. Derrick Henry, 26 rush attempts. Bills win by margin. James Cook, 23. Eagles win by margin. Barkley at 25. Rams, double-digit win. Kyren Williams, 16 carries. If you think you have a good read on a team that's going to win by double digits, their starting running back over rush attempts is a no-brainer. So that's kind of a really good way to look at wild card weekend. So don't ignore those rush attempt props. And of course, we just mentioned Kyren, and Dan, what's the biggest spread on the board? It's easily the Rams. So
I like it.
I think the Rams
makes
cover.
a hell of a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. If you think the Rams are going to cover
with that, Andy, Teddy kind of brought it up. Teams that you expect to trail quarterback passing attempts over. He said something that he thinks he likely is going to be betting is Aaron Rodgers and his pass attempts over. Simply, if you think a team's going to be playing from behind, all caution to the wind, they're going to drop back and sling it. I think it's also a no-brainer just because of how they attack it, Andy. Los Angeles Chargers, 3.5-point underdogs. They pass even when they have a lead. I know that Herbert's number has to be sky high, but his pass completions, I may be looking at over to try and bring some of that juice down.
Agreed. Habe, would you guys place in the pick 5? So Dan and I were in separate.
I was
contests.
in the Circa.
We did the Survivor together, but Dan was in Circa. I was in another one. I was in one with 1,800 people, and I placed like 600th. It was I ended up if you would have bet all my plays, you would have like broke even, like basically right on the button. It would have been the most blah betting year ever. How did you guys end up finishing?
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to us. We actually ended the year. Folks have been asking, hey, where's your Edinburgh show went? We had some family stuff these last few weeks. The last 2 weeks we didn't record any show, but you didn't miss anything, folks. We ended 3-7. So then we ended up on the year just above 51%. So essentially, kiss your sister, break even kind of year as well. However, we did cash so many outright dogs, and we would tell folks, these are obviously our contest picks, but when we have these dogs, bet them on the money line. And we had ones that were as high as 9.5 that won outright. Like when the Carolina Panthers won outright against the Rams back in November, that was one of the plays that we said, hey, we really like this dog here. Probably bet the dog on the money line. So if people are following, hopefully they made some money. But the official results, 51% as we kind of limped into the end of the year.
I actually really would, because the contest I was in was free. I actually wish I would have been really bad. That way I could tell people next year.
You win the booby prize.
I just tell people fade. Like, I'm not good at picking spreads in NFL.
That's one of the things that I never get when people are like, this guy's an auto fade. This guy sucks. He's an auto. Then do it. You know, that honestly, it is just as valuable, if not more valuable, if you find a book it with Trent type individual that you just fade to the bank every single week. So, there's plenty of value in that.
I've done it. I've done it many times. Find someone that's cold. So, all right, let's do this free contest here, Dan. Or did you want to pull up odds logic real quick? Okay.
Yeah, just so we have the odds on the screen here, folks. Andy and I are going to go down all 6 games here. We're entering in a contest. Andy will let us know what the contest line is, but we're picking every game against the spread, essentially. Correct, Andy?
Yes. And while we're doing that, guys, please take a second, hit the like button. It really helps us out. And leave in the comments section what's your best bet, but also pick between Teddy and myself for the Sell Me segment. We get those algorithm boosts. Okay. Rams and Panthers. The line is 10. You want to lay the chalk on the Rams, or do the Panthers cover?
Yeah, I mean, this home underdog spread is just crazy to me. And let's also be real, Andy. Back in November, they were 10-point underdogs, and I just mentioned they won outright 31-28. There's not much history to draw on for double-digit underdogs at home in the playoffs. This is only the third time it's happened since 2002. The underdogs in that sense, they're 2-0 against the spread. Honestly, Andy, I would lean towards taking the 10 points. I think the Rams could probably win this one. Do they have to win by 14 points? Probably not. And weather could be affecting this game as well. There should be some rain in the forecast in Carolina. I would lean towards the 10. I don't have a strong feeling. If you like the Rams, I'm fine with laying it as well.
We'll take the home dog. It's gross. We'll take it.
It is very gross.
Yeah. Packers, Bears, straight pick 'em.
Straight pick 'em for me. I mean, you heard the breakdown. I mean, maybe this is my Eagle fandom creeping in, but Green Bay should have beat this team twice. If it weren't for botching an onside kick, they would have. This Green Bay team, they kind of rested a bunch of players towards the end of the year. I think they should be pretty focused. We also are getting to pick them, so it's just pick the winner. I like the home favorite in this one, Andy, or the the away favorite. Excuse me. I like Green Bay.
Green Bay it is. Bills, Jags. I want all the Jacksonville Jaguars stock this week.
Me too. I'm right there with you. I think the Jags win this game outright. Play them in a teaser. Now the team total's gotten priced out. We bet it at over 24.5. It's 26.5. I still lean that way. There is a prop in this one, Andy, that I saw, but I kind of soured on it a little bit because it was Travis Etienne and James Cook, either one to get 100 or more rushing yards. And James Cook's gone over this number like crazy, but the recipe to success for the Jaguars is to keep James Cook bottled up. And they have shown the ability to do that defensively. Not much I could find in this game other than just taking the points. I think the Jags are a big barking dog here.
49ers and your Eagles. The line that we have is 4.5. Eagles favorite, 4.5. You trust your Eagles?
Yeah, and this one's up to 5.5, as you see on the odds logic screen. This thing has bounced around anywhere from 3.5 up to 5.5. Andy, I feel like I would only take the points in this instance. I don't want to lay it with the Eagles simply because of how they have been this year. Now, in the playoffs, it's been a different story. 5-0 straight up, 4-1 against the number at home in the playoffs are Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. Their only non-cover was last year against the Rams in the snow. Their average margin of victory in those games outside of that one, Andy, 21 points per game. So typically when they're at home, they beat up teams, but this offense has just been so bad. I don't want to be laying over a field goal with this team. You've had a good read on my Eagles. Let's be real. You told me a couple times, you're like, no, they're going to whip the shit out of this team. So I'm going to abstain, Andy. I'm too close to this one. I'm wearing the Super Bowl hat. I wouldn't bet the side. I wouldn't bet the side. You're picking this one. What are we betting?
I'm West Coast team traveling east. Weather could be frightful. I'm picking your Eagles. This is where they hit their stride. This is where
I like it.
Many
and we're getting the 4.5.
Too many injuries for San Fran.
Yeah, and it's 4.5. It's 5.5. I mean, it's not like that's a key number either way. If Trent Williams doesn't go, 49ers 4-13 straight up. Do the Eagles finally come alive at home? We'll see. So, Andy, I'm glad that is the side that you are choosing. We'll lay it with the Eagles.
And Chargers and Patriots. I got Chargers plus 3.5 in our contest. Patriots at home minus 3.5. What do you think?
Herbert, underdog of 3.5 or more in his career, 13-2 against the number. With Harbaugh, he's 3-0 once he's getting over a field goal. I've been soured on the Patriots all year long. The comments hate me because of it. Taking 3.5 with the LA Chargers is the bet that I have actually made with my own money.
3.5 is the only way to play it. This game should be really close. And any team getting 3.5 in this game, you take the 3.5. And finally,
Agreed.
Texans.
If this is 2.5 for New England, you're probably talking about a different bet here. But 3.5 over the hook. Yeah.
Agreed. And finally, we have 3.5 for the Texans and Steelers. Texans 3.5 road favorite.
I know that everybody's talking about how the Steelers aren't going to be able to figure out this Houston defense. Sure, I agree. Maybe the points don't come with regularity, but DK Metcalf being back, I think that is a boost. I like the Steelers outright, Andy. I know this is probably one that you and I are head-to-head on. I like the Steelers outright at home. I think it is very hard for C.J. Stroud to go on the road And yes, the Pittsburgh defense has been up and down, but they've been playing decent outside of what happened, with Lamar Jackson last week. They still end up getting it. Get the holy water out. Pittsburgh money line for me. And we're getting over the field goal. Home dog with Tomlin, 29 and 5 ATS. It's a no-brainer for me. I like Pittsburgh outright. Everyone's putting this game is already over. I don't see it.
Here, get the holy water. Dang, the holy water. I like this 3.5 at home. The Texans do not have a dominant run game to bleed out the clock. This has backdoor cover, really close game written all over it, and I don't trust this Houston Texans coaching staff. They make some boneheaded decisions from time to time. So if it was 3, again, you're talking maybe a possible different bet. But I get the hook. Yeah, it's Steelers. So, all right, we got the Steelers plus 3.5, Chargers plus 3.5, Eagles minus 4.5, Jags plus 1, Green Bay Pick'em, and Carolina plus 10. Those are our official plays for a free contest.
I like it, man. I like it.
This is real good. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for joining us on Football Friday. Can't wait to talk to Yanni. I kind of want to know what it's like being at a wedding with Yanni.
I can only imagine.
I
can only imagine.
What is that like?
I mean, it's got to be electric. Hopefully, it's like one of those big Greek weddings too, where the ouzos flow in. Yeah. They're all just like Saganaki bombs. I need that. I mean, Greek parties are a fun time. I know I got a bunch of friends who are in Greek Orthodox, and it's a good time. So I would assume that Yanni, he's probably glad that he'll have a little buffer zone before he's back on Monday. And he's in Philly for what it's worth. Yeah, I think he said he might go to the Eagles game. So we'll see.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. So, yeah. All right, it's a huge night for me. If the Hoosiers win, I will not be taking phone calls before 11 o'clock in the morning. If the Hoosiers lose, I will still not be taking phone calls before 11 o'clock in the morning. But we got a big weekend of plays. Use that promo code 8100 for a 30-day pass. 4% NBA, 5% NFL. By the way, cricket plays going up this afternoon. So you get another cricket play going for this weekend. So really good stuff. Dan, thank you. Great week of shows. Big weekend, rooting for the Hoosiers, rooting for the Eagles. Let's have a big weekend, and we'll be back Monday to recap everything, get you ready for the week. Have a great week. Good luck on your bets. Take care.